Hey guys, welcome back to Music Talk with John. I'm out walking. I guess that's where I'll be doing these reviews unless it gets too hot. We'll see how that goes. Summer's coming, but we've had some pretty good cool mornings and cool evenings. Last night was a little humid. First little signs of a humid evening, but not too bad. Anyway, I'm here to discuss Taylor Swift. This is an artist that, I know, I've heard the pop hits and things like that. And, up to the point before I listened to these albums that I'm going to be talking about, just kind of had, my opinion of just any other artist on the radio. Either you like them or you don't. You can relate to the music, you can't. It seems like had some radio hits, and I don't think that's happening at this point from what I can tell. But like We're Never Getting Back Together is one that comes into my head. Shake It Off. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreakers gonna break. Yeah, things like that. Good pop songs in the sense of being pop, catchy, all that. But I'm not going to be going down the road singing Shake It Off or, We're Never Getting Back Together. It's just not relatable to me at my age. So it's not something that I listen to. I can see why other people do because it's catchy and whatever. So I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really have an opinion of her truly. I tried not to because how can you really have an opinion of somebody if you haven't even listened to their music? So, I would joke around about it, but never was really serious about how I felt about her as an artist. So we were on a live chat somewhere a little while ago, and I was like, yeah, I just, and there's another song too before I get into this that I do like by her, with her in the Civil Wars. I think it was called Safe and Sound, might have been from Hunger Games, I think. It was part of that soundtrack. Don't you dare look out your window, darling, everything's on fire. But that I liked a lot. It was a stripped down song, all like acoustic based instruments, drums, all that stuff. And her voice was raw, and she was hitting some nice notes, and I enjoy that song. And it wasn't like speaking to a teen pop crowd or younger folks in modern language. It was just a good song, sort of, I was gonna say ambiguous, but not ambiguous, but it's a good song, and I'd recommend that one by her. In the Civil Wars, I think they're called. So we were on a live chat. I was like, yeah, I don't really, and they're like, well, might have been like Scott, DJ Vinyl Vertigo. He's like, man, check out Folklore and Evermore. Was it called Folklore? And I keep getting the two mixed up. Evermore, I want to say, I don't know what I want to say, but it's Folklore and Evermore, the two albums. I guess they were pandemic albums. She was supposed to be more to the basics, stripped down kind of stuff. So I'm like, all right, well, I do these reviews anyway. Let's check these albums out. Then while I'm checking these albums out, just a week ago, she has a new album come out. So I said, well, I'll go ahead and do that one also. So I went in, just like any album, I put it on, I focus on it, I give it a good listen, and form my opinion. I'm gonna have some things to say about what I think about these albums. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, either come in with this an open mind like I did, or you might want to just say bye now, because it's not harsh, but it's my opinion. I listened to them in order. I started with Folklore. Came out in 2020 because during the pandemic. I was expecting sort of a basic acoustic album, not a lot of drum beats and things like that, but that's my assumption when I did it. But anyway, my notes are here. She has a strong and pleasant voice. There's no doubting the fact that she can sing, but I'd like to hear her, I'd like to hear her let loose a little bit. She has this sweet voice that she kind of carries through every song, and there's not a lot of change in that. It's pleasant, it's sweet, it's nice to listen to, but I'm not feeling like a lot of emotion or anything coming out of it, and I was kind of like, give me some more. Some of the songs I felt, and I didn't write them down, but I thought maybe like Pink or Beth Hart would be cool to cover some of them and really like bring some kick into them. That was just a thought I was having. I thought the lyrics in this were good. She's a storyteller. There's no doubt about that. It seems like every song is a story. Yeah, and I've talked about it before. Look, I don't care about really Cursing in music, it doesn't bother me, but I do bring it up when it's used to a point that almost messes up the song, and it takes you out of the song and it distracts you from the song. Sometimes it works. I always give this example, Billy Joel, if you ever listen to his song Laura, when he uses that, he even said, there's no other word I could have put there and it would have sounded, it wouldn't have fit the song as well. And he's right. There's no others. It would have made it cheesy if he hadn't used the F-bomb in that song. It was just part of the lyric writing process. These songs, like with modern artists, it's just like, oh, we got to put a shit, we got to put a fuck in here every once in a while. You know, we gotta meet our quota. It just feels like that. It's like, it doesn't, I don't know. Anyway, it takes you out of the song. So I felt like she just, I don't know, it just didn't seem to fit her music. Just, I don't know. Then there was programmed drums. I wasn't a fan of that, for kind of using those. And it definitely isn't a folk album, like I was told. I was told these are more like her folksy albums. And even the picture on the album, it makes it seem like this is the outdoors and more folksy, but definitely wasn't. And then as you get into the album, it gets repetitive. And as I talk about these other two albums, you're going to see the same cycle. There's a lot of repetitive stuff coming from her, just not enough variety coming out of it, differences between the songs or anything like that. Yeah, and I don't know if she'd really sell as many albums as she does. I think she's coming off big pop hits off the radio. This is my opinion. And she's riding that, putting out all these variations and getting record sales up. And the fans just want it because they're fans, and the fans haven't realized, Taylor's kind of just doing the same thing here. And it seems like, I haven't listened to Midnight's, but I've listened to, 3 of the past 4 albums, and they're sounding pretty dang similar. So, and just talking to some fans in the record store and different places, they're not into buying the variations anymore. They're going to pick one, and that's it. So I don't know if that train has kind of left the station as far as variations and all that. But I think she's ridden this success for a while. She's on a big tour. She's coming. I don't know if that's still going on or if that's done. So she hit that peak. So I have a feeling it's not going to be the same for her if she doesn't get some more radio hits and things like that. So that's Folklore I was talking about. I don't think there's anything off. Is there anything off this one? I look at my rating system. There's one called Exile with Bon Iver. I never learned to read your mind. I couldn't turn things around. And I've heard that name before. I have to check out that performer. He sings very deep. I don't know if Bon Iver is a band or a person. Don't know. That song I liked. And Invisible String. Invisible string, tying you to me. Were the 2 songs off that album that I would put like on a playlist, and the rest were kind of like middle of the ground. Couldn't really decide. They weren't horrible songs. And then the songs I really didn't like were Mad Woman and Epiphany. Those just didn't do it for me at all. And then there's Evermore, came out 2020 also. It seems like it was the same concept or whatever as the other one. If there was ever an album that went nowhere fast, it would be this one. So that's, yeah, it's pretty harsh, but again, it's the repetition, it's the repetitive singing and all that. No variety. Felt like one long song. Yeah, it just repeated over and over. Same melodies almost like the same formula, it felt like. And it kind of reminded me of Adele, the 30, where it just, but Adele I was rooting for because I'm sort of an Adele fan. I like 25 a lot. But I just couldn't get into 30 as much as I wanted to. And it kind of just reminded me of that. It just wasn't going anywhere. Even though I know Adele had a lot to say, and that was sort of a concept album for her. Maybe that's not fair to Adele to put that way. Felt like a pop music formula gone wrong. Very good musicianship. The cliche or modern language and references got old as the album progressed. Yeah, it's kind of like trying to please the audience with hip terms and things like that. And just wasn't not relatable to me. I never, not even at any point, even as a teenager, I was like, oh, I had to use the hip words. I was never into that. I never got into, like, I think the only thing that stuck with me is cool. I think that was even before my time. That was probably 70s or something. But I don't know. I'm not into that sort of keeping it up to date language and fresh and things like that. Just sing, sell a story. If it works somewhere, that's fine, but don't keep using it. But that's just my opinion. It's things just like the language that kind of takes me out of the song and distracts me from it if it doesn't fit and it feels like they're trying to fit something into the song. I'm kind of I pick up on that stuff. So that's all. And then there's the Tortured Poets Department. Came out, like I said, a week ago. I think it's about a week, a little over a week now. So I listened to the digital version of it, which is basically a double album. And I listened to the whole thing, and again, just more of that. Like, it felt like those 3 albums, and I think even, I don't know if Rob's watching this. If you're watching this, Rob, I think you said even Midnight's kind of kept the same formula that was going on in Folklore and Evermore. And that's what felt like this Tortured Poets Department was doing. The only thing I could say is the theme of it. There was a sort of a feel or a theme to it, like a old style, like almost like a shout out to old style writers. And then there's a direction I think it would have been really great if this album had gone in, but it was too much. I don't know where all these extra songs are going. I don't know if these are just because if you do a digital download, you get all these 31 songs. Because I think the album has, if you buy it in the store, I believe it's, I want to say 16 tracks if I did this correctly, with 1 bonus track depending on the variant that you buy. So 4 different variations of this album. Each variation is a different record color as well as a different song. So you can end up with 4 versions of this album. There were some that kind of worked for me, and if she had narrowed it down to these songs and a couple other ones, I don't know if I'd ever buy it. It's just not an album that I don't know if I'd put on or not. I might have liked the song at first listen, but I don't know. But there's Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, How Did It End, Cassandra and Peter, and the manuscript I liked. I like that song at the very end.
And the years passed like scenes of a show.
That's the one that felt like had a feel, a mood to it. So I like that. I like that part of her. So, but for the majority, I just can't get into for some reason. It's nicely produced, but Taylor plays it safe again with her voice. Doesn't really go to a lot of places. It's flowery and pretty and all that, but it doesn't really go places. A series of straightforward songs with very little change, just like the other 2, Folklore and Evermore. I was looking for the hooks, didn't really hear hooks or anything, and I get it as a Bob Dylan fan, you know, but he had the hooks, right? He would have these songs that really didn't have a chorus or something to them, just a bunch of verses, but he had the hooks and the melody and the lyrics were right there to keep you in tune. So it just felt like it was just missing that out of this album. Felt like the same pattern was repeated continuously, just with different lyrics. So same thing with the other albums. Really no difference between her songs and the mediocre music of other pop artists today. That's a pretty strong word, but that's what I was feeling at the time. Sounds pretty, but lacks depth and variety. She comes across as the prude girl trying to act tough when she curses in her songs. That's what I was coming to. You know, she has this nice music, whatever, but I'm going to throw those words in there to show you I'm tough. I don't know if that's her intention, but that's how it comes across. You know, and that's anytime that happens, because she does it in this album too. It just doesn't do it for me. You know, and I like albums I can put on and play in an open environment without having to worry about, you know, language so much, you know, just to make it comfortable for anybody around if grandma's sitting in the room or whatever. I have no idea. Florida, I thought, I mean, if I really cared about state pride, I'd be offended by this song probably, but I don't know where it was going. It had Florence from Florence and the Machine, and I like her a lot, and her voice was cool, and I wanted to like the song, but it was just a stupid song.
What a crash, what a rush, put me on Florida.
I don't really say that about music much, but, you know, get that harsh, but I didn't see the point of the song. Didn't really see where it was going. Then there's How Did It End? I felt it was poetic. I like that Taylor can go to some dark places. I do. She could write some dark lyrics, and I like that. I was digging that part.
Say it once again with feeling how the death rattle.
Some lyrics reminded me, the short stories of, like, it gave me, when I was listening to some of her lyrics, it kind of reminded me when I was reading Salinger. He has some short stories. and Raymond Carver. Just got me, there's little feels, little touches of songs in there that kind of reminded me of that for some reason. Songs are better when she sticks to straight storytelling, stripped down without modern production and leaving out cliches to please a modern audience. So I went ahead and rated them, these 3 albums. Let's see. Coming in at number 3 would be Evermore, and that got a straight out F for me. Really bad rating. There wasn't anything that stuck out on that album at all for me. The number 2 would be Folklore. Got like a D+ from me. A little bit better, some songs on there. And then Tortured Poets Department got a C. So it got a little bit better, right? A little bit. And I even kind of cut it down to just if I had listened to the album and not the 31 tracks. If I just listened to the album with its 16 tracks, that ended up with actually a little bit worse rating, a D+, but only by very little difference. Not much difference, only a couple different little points. But anyway, that's what I did. I gave Taylor a try. That's what we do, right? We try these things out, see if we like it. Am I going to be buying Taylor Swift albums? No. Am I going to be curious in the future what she puts out? Sure, I do that with every artist. It's not like I'm not going to bash her. That's stupid, because this is all opinion. This is how I feel about music. We listen to music because it makes us feel a certain way. If we don't like it, then we just don't buy it. But I'm not going to bash on it. I told you my honest, raw opinion about the music, and somebody else can turn around and have an opposite opinion about it. That's how it works. So that's cool. Not a big deal. So anyway, I wanted to let you know what I thought about it. As a guy in his 50s, my perspective. That's what I thought about the Taylor Swift albums. You can let me know in the comments below if you're a Swift fan, Swiftie, and you stuck it through to the end. Thank you. Appreciate you kind of listening to what I have to say about it. And that's it. So let me know. Put it in the comments below. And until next time, hope you guys enjoy your music, and you take care, all right? Bye.
I say I'm too late. Got nothing in my brain. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop moving. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake.